Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to your Lunch Break Live. My name's Ivana Horenque if you're new here, and if you're not, thank you for coming back. Today is Friday, September the 9th, and today we're going to talk about something that is very fun and uniquely Alabama, and that is the Unclaimed Baggage Center in Scottsboro, Alabama. Now, we're talking specifically about Unclaimed Baggage today because they're celebrating their 50th anniversary. The way they're celebrating that anniversary is very unique, and they are welcoming home a 1965 Chevy named Hugo. He is coming back today from this cross-country road trip. And the significance of this pickup truck is that it is a replica of the truck that the founder of Unclaimed Baggage used to pick up the first batch of orphan luggage. Now, today, there's a lot to talk about. I know that seems a little bit of an interesting story there, so we're going to get into it because it is fascinating. We've also got some very cool pictures of the tour that Hugo went on across the country. But first, Jennifer, tell us a little bit about Unclaimed Baggage, about the story. And I should say as well that you're joining me here today, Jennifer Kreitner, and you work as the VP of Retail along with several other hats you wear at Unclaimed Baggage for 25 years. So you've been there for a good chunk, I guess, half of the existence of Unclaimed Baggage.
Absolutely. And it's been one of the greatest joys of my life. It truly is a wonderful place to work. And you never know what you're going to find. And I think that variety keeps things interesting all these years and keeps people coming back.
Well, and you and I were talking about it earlier. It's kind of like a treasure hunt there. If you don't know what you're going to get, you can keep coming back and you aren't having that same experience. Now, what is significant again about this weekend, about the events happening today and tomorrow, is that you're celebrating the 50th anniversary with the welcoming home of Hugo. Now, we wanted to show everybody Hugo, but he is actually not supposed to make his way back till a little bit later this afternoon. Right. So you'll have to take our word for it or go to Scottsboro and see it yourself. But, Jennifer, I'm going to show a couple of photos that your team sent over from Hugo and his tour. And while I show those, tell us a little bit about this nationwide tour and what the significance is.
Right. Well, we started our 50-state road tour back in early summer, early May. This road tour was designed to just kind of pay honor and tribute to Mr. and Mrs. Owens. Hugo Doyle Owens founded this company back in 1970 right here in Scottsboro, Alabama. As you said, uniquely a very Alabama thing. And he made his first trip to Washington, D.C. to pick up his very first load of unclaimed baggage back in 1970. He brought that back, and as you mentioned, a 1965 Chevy C10, and that's what Hugo is. And we had it fully restored, just to truly pay tribute to Mr. Owens and the incredible legacy that he's left for us. But Mr. Owens brought that first load back in 1970. And when he put the unclaimed bags out on the table, we sold out the very first night. He was actually an insurance salesman, but he knew he was onto something pretty special. And that entrepreneurial spirit was awakened inside of him. And so pretty quickly, Unclaimed Baggage became his full-time venture, and it's really expanded into what we know and love today, nestled in the foothills of the Appalachians right here in Northeast Alabama. We welcome about 1 million guests every single year through our doors, and it's really become one of the top tourist attractions in the state of Alabama. You truly never know what you're going to find, and this 50-state road tour, because we have millions of guests every month, every year, and every month we have someone from all 50 states enter our doors. We knew we could connect with those fans all across the country. And so as we mentioned, it started in May and it's wrapping up today. I just got a text that they've entered the Alabama state line. And so they're truly on the home stretch right now.
And looking at these photos, it's just so fun. And especially, I know a lot of this was to bring awareness about the Unclaimed Baggage Center for people maybe who have never visited before. And what a fun way to do it. Now, I have a couple of logistics questions here because Hugo seems to be very tied down by some of this luggage. This was one of my favorite photos. This is in LA that you sent over. And I'm going to toggle quickly back to this one. Now, this is obviously in front of the Golden Gate Bridge in San Francisco. Jennifer, I have to know, how are those bags staying in that bed of that truck?
That's a great question. Well, as I mentioned, Hugo is a fully restored vehicle. He is amazing. But we worked with some designers out in California that work even for the Disney company, and they designed this fiberglass stack to go on the back of Hugo. We also have a stack that's been fabricated that's real authentic luggage that's just layered and anchored down piece by piece, so it's safe and highway worthy, but it's really a showstopper. It's been amazing, the pictures we've gotten all over the country of people just really enjoying being around Hugo and taking pictures with Hugo. We had a tremendous time in California. As you've mentioned, LA and San Francisco. We actually had physical pop-up shops in both of those cities, and it was really cool to take actual physical product for people to shop out on the West Coast. We launched our .com in the summer of 2020 during the heart of the pandemic. We actually had a website and an online shopping experience that we were able to launch. So our fans all over the country could continue to stay connected with Unclaimed Baggage. And so even now, people can hop online and shop at unclaimedbaggage.com if they can't make the trip to Scottsboro. It's been wildly successful. It's exceeded all of our expectations. And the West Coast are some of our best guests, our best shoppers online from California, Oregon, Washington. It's really been mind-blowing to see those people out on the West Coast really connecting and gelling with our brand here in Alabama.
And I also love this photo too from Nashville. Probably everybody can recognize Broadway here in the truck, and Hugo just hanging out on the side. I'm sure that he was a photo attraction for people wandering around these cities, especially in Nashville, where there's a photo op. It seems like several a block, I should say. But you mentioned about the online shopping aspect of Unclaimed Baggage Center, and I think that's so interesting because there are so many ways now to shop online. There are so many ways for people to also shop for discounted goods online. We can think of several types of thrift stores that have online presences. We think of resale stores and places like Facebook Marketplace. So what kind of advantage does Unclaimed Baggage Center have when it comes to this new world of shopping both new items and used items?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think that it's the incredible volume and the fact that you never know what you're going to find. It's, the common things like a cardigan or an exquisite thing like a Rolex or a platinum diamond engagement ring or a really cool drum from a tribe in Africa. It's the ordinary, but it's also the weird and wonderful and truly just found treasures. And then we offer that at a great bargain. We're talking, usually 50% off of retail value, depending on the item. And so I think the uniqueness, how frequently we load our site, in our retail store here in Scottsboro, we restock our sales floor with 7,000 items every single day. Online, we reload our site with about 5,000 items every single week. And so that variety just keeps people coming back to figure out what cool thing were they going to have this week. And the latest, greatest things too, thinking about Dyson hair tools or a PS5, those things are hard to find or very coveted, or Lululemon, where are you going to find that at a discount? And so when those things arrive on a regular basis and we're able to post those, it goes so quickly. And I think the typical bargain center or the typical thrift store doesn't have the latest, greatest gadgets, the wonderful, amazing luxury items. And I think that's one of the other things that really kind of separates us from other secondhand stores.
Well, and also too, we should say that Unclaimed Baggage has partnered with domestic airlines to retrieve luggage that has not been able to be reunited with its owner. I know that airlines nowadays especially do all kinds of things to reunite luggage. There's most of the airlines, I know at least one that I fly often has an app that you can see exactly where your bag is. But these are pieces of luggage that cannot be reunited with their owners for whatever reason there. And in reading about your event that, again, starts this afternoon and goes tomorrow, I read a little bit about the story of 1970 when the founder, Doyle Owens, again, started this. And what I think is so interesting is that your company says with a borrowed pickup truck, a $300 loan, and a trip to DC, he bought his first load of orphaned luggage there. Jennifer, what else can you tell us about that origin story? I think that is so interesting, especially in 1970, to have that idea where I would assume air travel is not quite as prevalent as it is today, and you can't have those same types of tracking mechanisms for bags.
Sure. Yeah. So it's a fascinating story. Mr. Owens was a ham radio operator. That's what he did on the side for fun. And he was on the ham one night, and he had a friend that worked for Trailways Bus Lines in Washington, D.C. And the gentleman at Trailways said, I've got this problem. We've got these unclaimed bags that are building, and I need a solution. And so, he offered Mr. Owens the opportunity to find a solution. And so he borrowed that pickup truck and $300, made the trip to Washington, D.C. And as I mentioned, sold out the very first day that he brought those back to Scottsboro. Put one ad in the local paper, couldn't believe the line that was at the door, and just sold out immediately. And over the years, we've expanded to airlines. And as you mentioned, and the airlines do an incredible job of reuniting people with unclaimed bags. As a matter of fact, they're successful 99.5% of the time in getting you your lost item back or your lost bag back. But that fraction of 1% still adds up to a lot of stuff when you consider there are millions of people traveling every single day. So after a 90-day process of where the airlines try to find the original owner, that fraction of 1% that they're not able to reunite becomes salvage. And so we're able to purchase that directly from the airlines and bring it back here to Scottsboro, Alabama. And we have this amazing process and this amazing team of people that work with us that truly open every bag and mine for treasure. A third of everything that we receive, we're able to sell in the store. Another third of everything that we receive, we're able to recycle. And the other third, we're able to give. Donating is so important to us. It's the heartbeat of what we do. And so we give through our charitable foundation that's called Reclaimed for Good. And that was actually a significant part of the road tour is we found charities all over the country to partner with to give them items and products and supplies and suitcases for foster children or cash donations as we donated a percentage of proceeds from our pop-up shops to different charitable efforts. And so it really is amazing. We truly believe our purpose is to redeem the lost, unclaimed, and rejected for good. And that's what we're passionate about. So it's come full circle as we've celebrated our 50th anniversary this summer. It's just, we felt like it was super important to honor Mr. Owens and his vision and the legacy and the foundation that he set for us because giving was such a huge part of our business, even all the way back in 1970. And we truly stand on his shoulders today as we celebrate an amazing accomplishment and amazing legacy all these years later.
Well, and I have to say, I think everybody here knows I am based in Birmingham, but it might be worth even coming up to Scottsboro just to get a picture with Hugo. I'm a little bit obsessed with that truck.
Fun.
Tell me for people who want to come and celebrate this 50th anniversary. I know this afternoon's events start about 2:00 today. Tell me what people can expect this afternoon and tomorrow.
Yeah, so Hugo will pull back in around 2:00 this afternoon, and we're going to have a party. Lots of music, lots of fun, cake, just celebration and good discounts and deals all throughout the store. For example, you can get a 40-cent cup of coffee in our cafe or a 25-cent scoop of ice cream there, just harkening back to 1970s prices, but it's going to be a lot of fun. Tomorrow, the party continues with music and festivities, free lemonade and popcorn and discounts throughout the store. So it's certainly worth the trip. The first 50 people in line tomorrow win a gift card as they're at the main entrance. And so it's such a noteworthy thing that we wanted to extend it to the guest experience and make sure our guests could celebrate with us. So lots of fun is in store for this weekend.
It sounds like such a blast. If anybody is looking for something to do today or tomorrow, again, these events are happening at Unclaimed Baggage in Scottsboro. We're going to leave a link to your website here, and I know you've got it on the screen behind you as well, so people can go to the website, read about it, and read about the event. Jennifer, thank you so much for coming on today, giving us this little Friday smile, talking about this event, telling us about Hugo and everything else. Tell us your hours today and tomorrow for everybody who wants to come.
Yeah, today we're open until 6 p.m. Central Time. Tomorrow we're open from 8 a.m. until 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. So come on out. We'd love to see you.
A great alternative there if you are not watching any football tomorrow or that is not your thing. I'm sure that it will be a great time at Unclaimed Baggage. So Jennifer, thank you so much for all of your information today. Everybody watching, thank you. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you on Monday.